So I think about all the little youth services that I've been visiting across the county. They would love it if, sure enough, Police and Crime Commissioner walks in and says, I'm going to give you £100,000 next year, good luck. Equally, they wouldn't be able to spend £100,000 overnight. So, I think what we need to do is we need to be scaling up and doing more and more in communities. And the best example I can think of in the county that is big and it's very costly, but it's impressive, are the youth zones. Every town should have a service like that, frankly. Somewhere that young people can go, they can be with their mates, they can be off the streets where we keep hearing about antisocial behaviour as a consequence, but they're getting all of the soft skills, which mobile phones are taken away from young people, spending too much time scrolling and actually, are missing out on some of the best parts of growing up, which is sort of playing and...
We've given them the most powerful communication research tool known to man in their hand. The first thing you want to do is take it off them.
And I don't think that is the solution. So it's not like it's not all or nothing. It is a bit less on that and a bit more with these. A bit less scrolling on Instagram and a bit more playing some games or doing some sort of cooking classes that these clubs often have now, or just getting to have different skills. Because let's be honest, you're going to be fine on the technology. You are, because you've been born into, I've benefited from it. But you need the other skills as well with life, which is about being able to communicate with humans face to face, because you are going to have a career at some point which will require that. So I do think it's a balance. It's not black and white. But I've seen some of the proceeds of the likes of Warrington Youth Zone and some of the other services in the county. There's just not enough kids getting that in their community, and that's what needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
They'll have a much better quality childhood if they get a chance to have a bit more of that, and it works. Unfortunately, it was seen as a bit of a luxury that we couldn't afford anymore. But we've got to find a way to bring it back, because what I would say as being a councillor before, loads of decisions were about how do we balance the budget tomorrow. And in actual fact, before you realise you've actually got a problem coming down the track, because prevention, being cut piles onto response or delivery or whatever that other service might be. And the prevention cuts are often being the easiest that through austerity have been made. We're up to our eyeballs in response funding, and we're putting more and more and more money into that. NHS is a great example. NHS is getting loads more funding to deal with the consequences of prevention failing in many cases.